What's up, everyone? All right, well, another red day. Red day recap. It's third red day of the month, and I'm not going to try to, get myself too bent out of shape over it, but a little frustrating. 4 stocks I traded, red on 3 out of the 4. The momentum wasn't there for me today. No love in the market for Ross. So, it is what it is. Red Day. Be back at it first thing tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy this recap. Red Day recaps are my least favorite to do. So give me a thumbs up for doing the Red Day recap. And, transparency is what we're all about. I show you the green days. Those are fun. I show you the red days. Not as much fun, but it's important for you guys to see. And I know you guys are able to learn from the mistakes I made, whether it's a mistake or just bad market, whatever it is. You learn from the red, maybe even more than you learn from the green. So enjoy the recap. Questions, comments, leave them below, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. I'll be back in my office. All right, see you then. All right, everyone. So we're going to do midday market recap, go over the trades from this morning. This is going to be a red day recap, which, is always a little disappointing. I was saying earlier, doesn't matter whether you've been trading for, 10 days, 10 months, or 10 years. Red days are not fun. And I'm probably just as frustrated on a red day as someone who's only been trading for a few weeks. It's just the reality is when you have a red day, you're coming into the market, you're presumably following your rules and trading the stocks that are within your strategy, but you end the day with less money than you started, and things just aren't working the way you'd expect them to. It's the way you feel when you strip a bolt, and it's especially if it's a metal bolt for your car or something like that, and it's a big setback. I once stripped the bolt. I didn't strip just the bolt. I stripped the thread of the spindle for the brake caliper, and I had to get a whole new spindle. I mean, it was so frustrating. But sometimes that's what happens, and it's part of the deal with a lot of different careers that you end up spending an exorbitant amount of time cleaning up a mistake, and when you should be making progress. So and I see it on the Gold Rush Alaskan show I watch. These guys, they'll have a backup at the wash plant, gets filled up with gravel and dirt, and then they're spending 6-8 hours just trying to clean it back up. And all that time they miss out, running good dirt, and I'm sure it's frustrating. And then to watch it happen again and again and again. So today's one of those days where I stepped up to the plate, traded 4 different stocks. As you can see here, was red on 3 out of 4. Below my max loss now, down $3,100. Very frustrating. And on most of these stocks, I actually had a nice profit and ended up giving it back by being too aggressive. So I'll start by looking at the gap scanner this morning. Everyday gap scanners, pretty much the same. We're doing the same process. We start each morning by looking at these scans. So 9:25 a.m. Trading from New York City again today. Put up the video for those of you guys on Facebook or YouTube. So I've got my view out of the park right here, and my kind of nice little perch here by the window, which I'm really enjoying. But it's always nicer when you're trading on the road just to have nice green days and not end up getting hit with a big loss. But anyways, it is what it is. So started the morning looking at the gap scanners. ADIL was our leading gapper. This is the one that I jumped into right out of the gates. On this one, we actually had a pretty nice 5-minute pattern forming pre-market. It was not bad at all. A little pullback here, a squeeze up to 373, pullback, 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 watching first candle to make a new high. The bell rings, and we do get that first candle to make a new high. I jumped into it at, where did I get in? Let's see, I jumped in this one at 360 with 5,000 shares. And it basically hit a high of 367 and then flushed down to 342. And I stopped out at 339 for $1,000 loss in the first, minute of trading, first 2 minutes. So that's a disappointing way to start the morning. EYEN came up on the high day Momo scanner. There was really nothing else on the gap scanner, so that was the only one that I was really watching. So then I was watching the high day Momo scanner. EYEN pops up on the scanner right here, 280, 288, 293, 304. This is a really frustrating one. I took a couple trades on it. The first trade, I jumped into it at, what was it? 289, added at 295, sold at 302 and 97, added back at $3. So, typical kind of scalp over the $0.50 whole dollar, getting in, getting out, adding back. It squeezes up to 317. I add at 309 and 315. I'm being kind of aggressive. It flushes down to 270. I was like, oh boy, I'm going to give back all of my profits. And then it surges back up. And so I add back at 313, 318, and 327 as it squeezes up to 340. I was looking at this. I was like, okay, it flushed down here to 270. And now it's just ripped back up to 340. This thing could get halted. I mean, that's a 70-cent rip. And this is only a $2.77, $3 stock. So 20% move, this could get halted going back up. It'll squeeze out any short sellers who shorted this candle here as it surges up. It did have news on the daily chart, not the greatest headline. Daily news on the day. The daily chart not ideal, but looking better over $4. So, I was kind of getting a little aggressive on this, stepping up to the plate, thinking this is going to go into a halt. It's going to break over 350. We're going to see 360, 370, maybe $4. And I'm holding 10,000 shares at an average price of like 320 or something like that. So ended up stopping out here, 287, 286. Boom, drops back down right here, and I got to stop out. So stopped out right here, and I'm down. I go from being up, I don't know, $800 on the stock. But then I'm holding 10,000 shares at 320, and I have to sell it down here at 390, 387. So that's a $3,000 loss. And this is exactly the type of thing I talk about where, I get aggressive, and then in one candle when it goes against you, what do? I mean, you're now in this, you got to see it through. And so I gave it a chance for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, but that didn't happen. And so I stopped out on the low of the pullback. Max loss was at 285 now. So that was no fun. So took a good size loss on that one, $2,300. And with that, I was down $3,000. And I was like, all right, well, 2 red trades right out of the gates. I'm going to override the max loss and go refer back to 3 red trades, and I'm done for the day. So if I have a third red trade, I'm done for the day because, at this point, I'm still really early in the morning. So let's see. So I end up, saying, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take another trade. Next stock that comes up on the scanner. ADIL. I did get back into it. Oh wait, no, did I? Yeah, actually, I did get back into ADIL for the first 5 minute candle, make a new high right here, and I made like $100. Whatever, small winner. It only popped up to 75, so small win on that. And then we had NFEC hit the scanner right here, and MRIN hit the scanner right here. Now, I'm frustrated on MR. I mean, I only lost $78 on MRIN, but I took 2 trades on it. The first trade, my legs are falling asleep. The first trade was coming out of a halt. So it ends up squeezing up. It got halted at 420. I wasn't expecting that, but, it got halted. So I jumped in, coming out of the halt, buying it at $4.39. And scalping the squeeze here up to 455. Made $500 on that trade. I then got back in it right here and stopped out as it dropped back down. As you can see, it dropped back down here. It then flashes up and goes all the way back to high a day. So a real slap in the face by the market, but it is what it is. I mean, this thing broke new lows. It dropped back down. So I ended up giving back the profit I'd made. So now I'm red on that stock. But before I took, so first I had the trade where I went green on it, and then I came back on the trade that I went red. Between that, I took a trade on NFEC. So NFEC hits the scanners, it squeezes up here on the 1-minute chart to a high of 1025. It then pulls back right here, and as it squeezes back up, I add into this squeeze. It goes all the way up to 1090. It then resumes it gets halted. It resumes from the halt at 1080. I'm like, okay, it resumed lower. I'm going to add over 1080 for the break at 1090, and then I'm looking at 11. On the daily chart, this was the first daily candle to make a new high. Made a new high only by 11 cents, which is pathetic. I was expecting a retest of the moving average, which was 1231, the 9 and the 20 moving average right in here. I thought we would get a bounce, a squeeze. So when I saw it hit the scanner and I looked at the daily chart, I was like, okay, yep, this all looks interesting. So anyways, I added 2,000 shares. I can see there's a hidden seller at 80, so right away I put half my order back on the ask at 79, and I sell my 2,000 shares that I just bought. Okay, so that's fine. And then I sell more at 75 on the ask, and then it drops down to 1002, and right here does the same thing as MRI or as EYEN consolidation, and I stop out. I think it was like right here as it broke 10. So I went from being up, I don't know, I like $2,000 when I sold, because here's the thing, it's first in, first out. So my ad right here at 27 and 30, that was my first in with 3,000 or 4,000 shares. So I'm in there with 4,000 shares. So when I sold 4,000 up here, I booked like maybe $2,200 of profit. But now I'm holding 2,000 shares that I just added at 11 or at 1080, and I sold those back down at 10 for a $1,600 loss. So that's the way most brokers do it, first in, first out. So only $300 of profit there. This one had the chance of getting me out of the hole if it had squeezed up to 1231. With my 4,000 shares at 1030, I thought this was going to easily break 11, go up to 1130, 1150. It had room to 12. So I was like, this could be a $4,000 winner, and it's going to get me out of the hole from these two trades. And it's not taking a lot of risk on it, but ended up only making 300 bucks. So that was disappointing. Came back up again, but I decided just to leave it alone. Actually, looks like it almost tried to make new highs, but whatever. So that was that, and then I took the trade on MRIN. At this time, before I took this last trade, I was actually up 450. So I was up 450 on MRIN, up 300 on NFEC. And yes, I was still down about 2,600 on the day, but I was like, look, if MRIN takes off, this might end up being a good, a good size winner for me. And, maybe I'll make another 500 bucks on it. Maybe I'll be down only 2,000 on the day, maybe only 1,500. Wasn't really thinking I'd get all the way back to green on MRIN, but, step in the right direction. But it chopped me out, and now look at it, it's up at, 480. So, not an easy day for me, a little frustrating, but at the same time, I'm not really down all that much more than I would make on a good day. My daily averages this year, well, I don't know actually where it is, but I think I'm right around $2,500 per day average. I don't remember. Let's see. Today is the 230th day of the year, and I'm sitting at just under $500,000 in profits. So let's do the math. So $492,000 divided by 230 is $2,139 per day. So today I basically gave back 1.5 good days of profit, but that's fine. I mean, my red days are account for about 20% of all of my trading days. So for every, you know, every 4 steps up, I have 1 step back. 4 steps up, 1 step back. So, you do the math. I mean, that's me moving up overall. That's why I've got $490,000 of profit this year. But that doesn't change the fact that today's disappointing. I was really hoping I would just crush it in December, um, and I'm only up like 12,000 bucks on the month. So I made $84,000 last December. But that's the ebb and the flow. It is what it is. It's not, um, there are months this year that I did much better than months last year, and then vice versa. So trying not to sweat the small stuff. Watching MRIN, continue to go is probably not going to help me. I'll just, come back recharged tomorrow. I'll be back in my home, office, and well, it's 5 minutes down the road, 10 minutes down the road, but whatever. I'll be back in my office tomorrow, ready to do my thing, and that's fine. Didn't end up being green on this trip. Made 2,000 yesterday, lost 3,000 today, so down $1,000. But again, it's if you are so hyper focused on this tunnel vision of today, even just doing this, like all I see is the level 2. But that's sometimes like you get so fixated on your P&L, so fixated on this one stock. When you close this and you're like, whoa, okay, there's a whole world around me. Right across the street, I see some guys working on the roof of that building. I don't know what the temperature outside is, maybe 35 degrees, 40 degrees. I saw them out there yesterday too, and that's you see these guys down on the street riding those bikes, and I've got a lot to be grateful for. So yeah, whatever. Today might be a red day, but still a green month, and just try to finish up strong Thursday, Friday, and then finish up strong next week. Really like to get over the $500,000 mark in my account. That would certainly feel good. So I've got like $8,000 between me and there. Joe, I haven't looked at my stats super closely between trading at home and trading on the go. I know that the 4 or 5 biggest days that I've had in the last year and a half or 2 years have all been trading at home. But I think that's also just the nature of I'm at home a lot more than I'm away. So just statistically, it's more likely. I did have a really good day in California. I got an $8,000 day when I was trading in California in October. I was watching I saw some comments on that video not that long ago. For those of you guys watching on Facebook, I see that it's freezing up a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. It's hotel Wi-Fi. It's to be expected. So if it's freezing up a little bit on YouTube also, sorry about that. Tomorrow it should be better. That's the biggest disadvantage of traveling, trading on the traveling trading station. It's just the internet's not, you don't get fiber at hotels. I can check to see what it is, but usually I'm also using a couple different computers for all my streaming stuff, so that makes it a little bit a little faster. But yeah, actually the internet here is not horrible, but I don't know. So anyways, that's about it for me. Red day recap, but back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Hopefully we see some good stocks on the scanners, something a little bit more exciting than ADIL, and can make a little bit of money, and just try to finish this week strong. All right, so Emily, any thoughts for December? Yeah, obviously the overall market's been weak. Definitely, that's just very true. You can see what's happened here since December. We've sold off. How that weighs on small caps, we've gone through periods like here where the market was weak. And if we go back, further, we went through this period here where the market was really weak, but we still saw opportunities to trade small caps. This was 2016. Um, this was the end of 2015 to that going into 2016. So, I'm not super, super worried about it. There's always opportunity. That's just pretty much my stance on it. There may be more opportunities to the short side, but at the same time, a lot of small cap traders are naturally long bias because it's hard to find shares available to short them. I mean, if you have shares at SureTrader or CMEG, then it's going to be easier to short those stocks. But if they don't have shares, most, probably half of all the traders who trade small caps are below the PDT level. So they're not going to have an account with Centerpoint where they can trade, shorts of pretty much anything. So they're definitely going to be restricted. So I think more small cap traders have a long bias just due to the nature of availability of shares to borrow. And so even during a really weak market, if there is a stock that comes out with news, it's going to move up and traders are going to jump on it, and maybe they'll be even more aggressive on it to compensate for the fact that the rest of the market is so choppy. So anyways, that's it for me. Reminder, guys, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, Steve is hosting a workshop. He's our futures trader here at Warrior Trading, so I would love for you guys to check that out if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what he's doing. His futures trading chat room is open. He starts streaming right around 10 a.m. So the futures market, the nice thing about that is you can trade it. You can trade it at night. You can trade it in the afternoon. It's kind of, there's a lot of different times you can trade it versus just the small caps. So anyways, guys, you're welcome to check that out if you'd like. I'll put the link in the YouTube description, put it on the Facebook video already, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you guys all in the morning. Bye.
If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.